It ain't easy being green. No, really, it's not easy being green. I'm here for Shrek the musical, the Jonesborough Repertory Theater. They started planning this thing all the way back in February, then rehearsals and all the props, and it's just an hour makeup just for Shrek. But don't take my word for it. Here's JJ.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey.
Good to see you.
And you've purchased a new building, and you're going to kind of give us a little tour of it and behind the scenes, and we'll get to see some of the makeup and all that.
All the new happenings here at Jonesborough
I
Repertory
love behind
Theater.
the scenes.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go in the new place.
So this is our new stage door. This area is where we can actually house our audience for a while. We have our box office here. It's actually used for teaching classes as well and some rehearsal space. But it's a nice place for our audience now to come and relax, not be crammed into our little bitty lobby that we had before, buy concessions, find some of the merchandise that represents the shows, and also have a little chance to take a look around and learn about the show itself and the design aspects and what it takes to put on a show this large. So for example, here we have models and design work for Shrek. So we started off with, after you take the story and the script, you go in and take out all the big huge elements that it's going to take to put on the show, color renderings and things like that we want to see for each scene. And then we end up doing a scale model. That way we can see and communicate with our staff that builds and our tech crews what we're kind of looking for and what the entire vision of the show is going to be. Okay, so we'll start here in the makeup room. And here in the makeup room, what we're going to have is Tom Sizemore, who is our Shrek. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
This is Morgan with Daytime's here.
Hi.
We're giving them kind of a backstage look today. This is Derek Smith-Peters. Derek's our makeup designer for Shrek. And as you can see, there are probably 30, 40 different wigs for Shrek and different appliances that we use to create the different looks and to make the magic happen on stage. And so we're going to check back in with you guys in a little while. Tom starts his makeup. Takes about an hour and a half for him to get in the complete Shrek makeup. So one of the first things we have to do is we have to make you the official ogre for the day.
I can do it.
There you go. All right. And then because you have to have that big mighty ogre roar. There you go. The second thing that we had to do that was really hard was to figure out how are we going to do Shrek with 16 different scenes in our little theater on a small 25 by 29 foot stage. And so we had to do not only just your typical moving set pieces that you have for these musicals and things. This is Fiona's Tower, for example. But we had to be able to transport audiences. And to do that, you usually in a theater were able to fly in backdrops. Well, here in our little theater, we don't have a fly system. So we had to derive a way of doing rolling drops to actually take the audiences on that adventure. And of course, you see a little bit of Farquaad Castle there. Mixed in with the backdrops, we create his castle and of course the Dragon's Keep, which is the scary place. Oh yeah, you need to meet our 15-foot dragon. That was an adventure to build. Okay, so this is our dragon for Shrek. We affectionately named her Lunesta because Lunesta puts you to sleep at the end of a long night, and we were up a lot of long nights trying to get her developed. It's a full cage system like you would use for larger puppets from Sesame Street and things like that. She has to be able to talk. And she has a voice by an actress in the show, but we have to be able to articulate the mouth, and of course her fluttering eyelashes, because she is in love with Donkey, so we have to be able to get that out and her personality. And of course we have the fog effects and the smoke effects and things like that as well. So it's a lot of fun to do, but it's a lot of hard work to try to get all of it together to build.
15 feet.
15 feet altogether from nose to tail once she's all put together. And we got it to where we're run by one person. On Broadway, they had about 4 or 5 people be able to run the dragon. It was a little larger, of course, but we decided we really wanted it to be where you didn't see much of the puppeteer. So that's why we designed it the way we did.
How about some smaller puppets?
Smaller puppets. Oh yeah, check these out. So on top of a big 15-foot dragon puppet, we also had to have some other puppets in the show. There's about 15 other puppets that you'll see being used. One, of course, is Puss in Boots, familiar to the Shrek family. And he makes an appearance while Donkey and Shrek are traveling to the Dragon's Keep, along with some other familiar faces that might not be known from Shrek, but for some other character costumes and some other cartoon stories. Along with all the other puppets that you see, there's also about 125 different characters throughout the show, and they're all played by about 30 people. So to do that, there's multiple costumes for multiple people, and oh yeah, all kinds of gags that are from the movie, from the Broadway show, and of course in Shrek we make fun of other Broadway shows as well, so there's a lot of little hints to costuming and some little trickeries there and there. The famous Gingy, of course, and then in costumes, like I said, there's probably about 125 different costumes that we use in the production, and when everybody gets here, there's 30 people running like mad backstage, all organized, but it's all in an organized chaos kind of manner. and pull the show off and have a great time each night.
And you made a good use of space. You actually have a dressing room up these sharp stairs here.
Yeah, the boys' dressing room's up in the attic, and so we put them down here, and the girls are down here, and then of course Derek, we just had to do that because we had to have an expansive area to do all the makeup and all the extra special effects that take place in Shrek.
Well, speaking of that, let's go check in on Shrek.
Yeah, let's do that. So pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Mr. Derek Smith-Peters is working his magic here on Mr. Tom Sizemore as he transforms into the ogre known as Shrek. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks. Yeah.
Good. See, even
I'm feeling very green. Yeah.
even the accent starts to come in.
It really. As soon as you put this on, I mean, you can't help it. Yeah.
Your ears are better than mine.
Well, it's taken a lot of work to get them that way. Yeah.
So Derek has to apply the makeup in such a way that it also holds up for the 2.5 hours of the show. He has only a few moments that he can touch up, but Shrek really does carry the show, not just the title character. He's out there a lot, and so it's hard to get to him to do a lot of touch-ups like you would see in movies or film. So to do this, we have to use heavy-duty adhesives and appliances to make it work.
Well, I was reading in the director's notes here, JJ, that you saw this in '09, but directing it gave you a whole different perspective on it.
It does. I mean, when we saw it on Broadway, there's so much spectacle. It's like a lot of the stuff that's on Broadway right now. And sometimes it's just like a big movie with a lot of special effects. We talk about that a lot, that it loses its story. And so by going into directing this and a little bit different script that they use for the touring show, they've really gotten into the whole meaning of the show.
And there's more of a moral to this story, right?
Yes, there is. Actually, Shrek and Fiona find that the fairy tales that we always read and that we're grown up with, aren't always as happy ever after as we might think them to be. And that beautiful is actually in the eyes of the beholder, that beautiful isn't always pretty. And along with the other fairy tale characters in the show, we learned that who you are is okay. No matter who you come from, no matter what you look like, your strengths are actually what makes you strong, as comes from the things that make you different.
And if you've seen the movie and you think, my kids have watched the video 1,000 times, you still need to come see the play because it's different and it has a whole different feel.
It does. It's a little bit deeper in the meaning. The adults still get the humor out of it. It's hysterically funny in places. And there's a love story that's unforgettable. And at the same time, it's live and it's right in front of you. And there's nothing like live theater.
And playing through the middle of September. So
playing through September 15th.
Don't procrastinate because you said you sold out of these in the first week.
Sold out in the first week. We'll have more back in, but yeah, people are big Shrek fans and Fiona fans.
All right, we will see you at Shrek, and hopefully we'll see you here too. Thanks,
Thank you.
JJ.